EduTech Guys present a conversation from our live coverage of FETC in Orlando, Florida on Wednesday, January 24th, 2018. Enjoy the program.
Dr. Howie cannot fix your health problems. Mentally, philosophically, I could probably fix that. A little bit of my background, I was a classroom teacher for 20 years. Left education and opened a computer store and brought in the Macintosh, did that for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then left, went back and finished my doctorate and ended up in Durango, Colorado as their chief information officer. My first exposure to FETC was about 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Started coming here and started doing some presentations as a teacher. And then Jennifer Womby's been really great in inviting me back for the last 16 years. Did 3 workshops yesterday and today. First one was on podcasting, how to bring podcasting in the classroom. Very well received, packed room. And it was interesting because a lot of teachers never even thought about, and it was called Telling Stories with Sound, and how you can actually do that. So we took them all the way through. We showed a little bag with a little microphone and an earphone that you plug in to a laptop. And then we showed them how to use Spreaker. So they could record on that, and they never thought about using their cell phone to do a podcast.
Right.
So that worked real well. Then we did one on critical thinking skills. We showed them 50 different critical thinking skill exercises to do in the classroom. And the best one that we did, because in my last 6 years, I do some off-contract, not officially with Disney, unofficially with Disney. And we did a project we've been doing here for the last 4 years called Design a Theme Park Attraction. And they become the Imagineers. They do Blue Sky. They come up with the idea and what is it going to be? What's the name of it? Well, their challenge was Disney has created a new area at the Magic Kingdom. And it's something to do with pirates. So you've got to come up with the land, what you're going to call it, and then you got to come up with an attraction. And what kind of an attraction? Is it a boat? Is it a ship? Is it a dark ride? Whatever those pieces happen to be. It was so much fun watching how engaged and passionate those people were, and the dynamics of the group. They'd never seen each other, and all the skills that they brought together. The culminating project, there's a rubric that they go through, they see, and they know the points, the checkpoints that they have to hit. It was amazing in a period of about an hour and 40 minutes of what they put together. I was just flabbergasted, blown away, and the professionalism. And the main reason we do that as a culminating project is what business folks tell me and others is students don't have presentation skills. They don't have the opportunity to stand up in front of an audience and do that. And my last project for the last year, Theme Park Press, which is an unofficial arm of Disney. Everybody's got to be unofficial because otherwise you'd have to pay us. So Bob McLean contacted me and said, I've heard what you're doing. Do you have a book? And I said, no, but I've been thinking about doing it. And he says, well, about what? And I said, well, we've been kicking around the idea of taking the Magic Kingdom, taking all 46 attractions and writing a book about it, but with a spin on it that we would give the background, the history, show a video of it, the performance objectives that we want to have, but our spin is going to be, then we're going to give you lessons that you could do in the classroom. An example would be, you walk down Main Street, where you see the old vehicles. What was transportation like back at that time? What is transportation today? What is transportation going to be in the future? Design a car. So each one of them has what we call a magical lesson. And the idea behind that is there are 2 to 8 exercises, project-based learning, STEM, that you can put all those pieces together and tell a story. And we're doing a little promotion here at FETC. Kindle version is out right now. People listening to this, if they'd like to go to Kindle for the next 2 days, it's half price. It's $5 on there. It has hot links in it that you can click on it and will take you to a website we created called WDW Lessons, and it has every lesson listed in there and all the links. The printed version will be out March 15th, and it will be available on Amazon through Theme Park Press. So I'll take a deep breath, and I've tried to do that, and I know we're time limited here on putting the pieces together.
We've got lots of time.
You're good.
Yeah, we're good.
You're good.
So let's talk podcasting.
Okay.
How did they? So a lot of teachers. It's real interesting. We do a lot of the same kind of workshops. We'll go in, and we like to call ours everything from storyboarding with the students. You can take that opportunity. You can go in, create a group. It's like creating the SNL Writers Workshop right there with the students and saying, great, here's what we're going to do. It's a writer's workshop. We're going to do it all in Google Docs. We're going to build it out, and then we're going to produce it. Then we're going to turn it out. And that's, teachers are always like, wait, what? I never even thought of that. And I think it's because we think this way. We think, okay, I have one medium. How do I use it to get across this level? So in your workshop, how many epiphanies did you notice that hit?
There were a lot. And in fact, I said, how many of you have ever listened to a podcast? 3 out of 40. How many of you have ever done a podcast? 1. Yeah. And they were all there for information. They were like a sponge.
Yeah.
And they had no idea of the different, and we really emphasized the storytelling, because I'm a big, fanatic about storytelling and putting those pieces together. Visually, making that audio presentation that I see in my mind, that picture of whatever that happens to be.
Yes.
And we do a similar thing. We do a podcast twice a month called My Disney Class. Started it 3 years ago. We have about 4,000 subscribers. Our emphasis is education and Disney.
Yeah.
The first of the month, Ryan Beckman is our co-host. He is a full-time teacher, middle school in St. Louis. And I bring the background of business and education into it. And what we do on the first of the month is we talk about ideas and how you can bring them in the classroom. So it might be on critical thinking. And then we say, well, this is what an Imagineer might encounter and how they would solve a series of problems. Then we might go through another one and we might talk about creativity or problem solving.
Sure.
The one we just finished was on failure. What about failure in the classroom? How do we create that safe place to fail that students have? But similar to what you just said, doing things different.
Yep.
My gosh, and that there were so many of those that people said, man, I just never thought about doing that. Maybe I could, and they had those conversations within the group. I could do this, this, and this. Our podcast on My Disney Class, they can subscribe on iTunes or Libsyn. There's a number of different ways. On the 15th of the month, we bring teachers in, and we let them tell their story about what they're doing. Amazing stories that they bring. Faith Plunkett, a teacher in Huntsville, Alabama, and she told her story. She is a resource teacher for technology in K-5, and she has a Disney-inspired classroom. The title of our book is Designing Disney-Inspired Classrooms. And so she starts telling the story about what she's done and how she's partnered with 15 businesses. I mean, large corporations there in Huntsville.
Yeah.
Her program is so popular, people are moving to Huntsville to just go to her school, to have her kids in that area.
Yeah.
So we tell those kind of stories.
Yeah.
We also bring in former Disney Imagineers. We bring in Jim Korkus, one of the Disney historians, retired, so he can freely talk. We get the retired people because they can freely talk about it, and not to say anything bad about Disney, but it's very restricted in the things they say, and some of them are canned, and we've tried to work through that. So we found out Imagineers that are retired can tell us the behind-the-scenes stories. We had a dinner last night with Brian Collins, who was the Imagineer who worked on the attraction that we're going to test you guys. What attraction went away in Hollywood studios recently? Something
Indiana
about
Jones?
No. Something about a movie kind of thing. The Great Movie Ride.
Oh, the Great
went
Movie
away.
Ride. That's right.
Gone.
Yeah.
New attraction coming. Brian Collins is an Imagineer, but he didn't do the engineering. He did the script writing and the choreography for it.
Wow.
And I said, Brian, choreography? He says, yeah, they have to get off that cart. They have to raise the gun, point it at somebody, shoot, because when they shoot the gun, something happens over here on the auto animatronics. And it was interesting. We had 10 people at dinner, and they said, I had no idea Disney even does. They had stuff like that. They did that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking engineering, physics, and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So we have those kind of folks on the 15th of the month.
That's
and
cool.
just have an absolute blast.
That is
cool.
awesome.
That's
That is
really
so
cool. So, critical thinking. I know you've got 11 projects. Give us a few for the listeners so they can kind of get an idea.
Well, I'll tell you what they can do. They can go to drhowie.com.
Okay.
The handout that we used in there are 150 slides of critical thinking exercises. So there's even though the topic said 11, there's 50. And the way we broke it up is I started doing it and said, well, this is a category, it's not going to work. So I broke it up by time. So the first 10 slides are, what can I do in 1 to 2 minutes at the beginning of class?
Yeah.
Then I said, okay, what can we do in 3 to 5 minutes? And we built that all the way through the workshop so that we ended up with what I can do in 2 hours, like an educational breakout.
Sure.
Or using Glogster. So we took it all the way through that. Then the teacher can say, oh, I want to do a little exercise each morning when they come in, and we'll do this. Here's 1 to 2 minutes. So that's how we broke that up and put,
Awesome.
put the pieces
Well,
together.
so I have a question. On the second slide, is that you in front of the television with the boxer bulldog? I'm on the critical thinking PDF. That's a great picture.
Yes, it is. That dog is Penny.
Penny
is no longer with us.
Yo.
Penny went to dog heaven many years
years
ago.
ago.
But yeah, that was.
That's a great picture.
Did you see the TV?
The TV in the background. Yeah.
Time frame?
56.
Not quite. A few years before that. I mean, the
54?
time it was black and white.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I found that photo. Actually, my dad had passed away a number of years ago, and he had a whole bunch of these old photos, and I found that one in there. I said, "That's great for the conference."
Oh, that's
Oh,
a
that
great
is-
photo.
that's
That's
a
a great
great
photo.
Good story. In
So
it.
yeah, remember to go out to drhowie.com.
And they can download all 3 workshops.
It's all
that we
there. I'm
did.
looking at all of it right now. I can get anything I want to there. That's a very valuable piece. So you've done your stuff here. What are you looking forward to here while you're here to visit and see?
Well, what I like to do is I can't get to other workshops because I'm doing the workshops.
Right.
I did 2 yesterday and 1 today. Exhibit hall.
Yeah.
You know, what's new, what's out there. I have a lot of contacts from when I was in Durango, just saying hello. I ran into a guy that Joe Catalin from New Jersey that we did video conferencing for 10 years. So I ran into Joe.
Yeah.
Seeing old friends.
Yeah.
My thing that I just really get excited about is somebody comes back to a workshop that was here before, or comes up and say, hey, thank you, there's some great ideas. I appreciate you giving me this information. I license everything under Creative Commons, give credit where credit's due, so that's available to everybody, and all those things are there. The second thing that I like to do is drop into a concurrent session, see what the topic is, looking for new ideas. Because I'll start next week thinking about FETC for 2019.
Right.
Jennifer's been nice enough to invite me back each year and do the workshop, so I'm looking for some new ideas, new things that are out there, and it's always changing.
Yes,
awesome.
yes, it is.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, I think it's awesome that you just said what you said. Especially, you're right. It's always changing, and being affiliated with the Disney Imagineers, it's that you got to keep moving forward, keep looking forward. Just keep swimming.
Keep swimming.
We have a new term that we have trademarked, and we're developing a new project that'll take us a year called Edmagineering.
Okay.
We ran it through Disney Legal, never used, never thought about it.
Right, yeah.
So we
Yeah,
took
they're
a year
like,
to
"Oh,
do
man."
it. Yeah, it's like we missed it. And we filed the copyright and the trademark the next day because we were afraid that they
Right,
were
yeah, they were
gonna
gonna go like, "Oh,
we
thanks."
grabbed the website ID and
Yeah.
grabbed all that. We're going to be partnering with schools, and we're going to develop projects and lesson plans that teachers can use in different content areas. And we announced it yesterday. We got 6 schools already. I said, we don't even have anything done yet, but it's going to be on
that's awesome.
Edmagineering, and your students are going to become the Edmagineers, and they'll get a little certificate on it. So that's another project.
That's
we're
really
working on.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely have to reach out and get together on something, and it would be fun to work with you sometime and
I'd love to do it.
take a podcast to the next level.
Visually, can you see this? I am reaching for a card and passing the cards across the table.
And
so
so
that
are you.
you
and
have,
we in turn are handing ours
you.
back.
Can you see that? There it passed back,
it is.
and it
right.
has information that's on there. I really thank you guys for the opportunity to share
sir.
my story.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining us, for sparing some of your time to come visit with us. I mean,
I love this. I get all across the country. I'm going to get in trouble for this because I used to be on the ISTE board. This conference is better than ISTE.
Awesome.
Well, we would concur, and we're not on any boards, so.
A former
But
board
see,
member.
former. So
I'm free to say
that's
whatever
right.
I want to
You
say.
fall under the retired
The-
category, right?
Yeah, retired Imagineer. So you can.
That's right. That's
Yep.
right. Former.
Awesome.
but-
Well, before you go,
Yes, before you go, we want to give you a little tchotchke.
Little
Sorry,
tchotchke
Oh,
about the guys.
giving a little parting gift.
Excellent.
So there
I'll
you
put
go.
it on tonight. We're having a dinner tonight.
Oh,
You
great.
probably don't know who. What I do is it's called Disney Dining Tour, and we
Oh.
invite 10
cool.
teachers to meet with an Imagineer last night. Tonight is a Disney historian, and Thursday night we're meeting with Jeff Dixon, a Disney author.
Oh, yeah.
And he gets a chance to sit down and talk to, and they're like,
That is
"That's
phenomenal.
the guy. He's really there."
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's
Yeah.
really awesome.
What
So
a
we reach
great
out to them.
experience.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
great.
so it's a great time.
You've been listening to a recorded conversation from EduTech Guys live coverage of FETC 2018. For more information about EduTech Guys, visit edutechguys.com. And thanks for listening.